Excellence is the gradual result of always striving to do better. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. With this inspirational quote, myself, Shiny S. Joseph, would like to extend my greetings and a warm welcome to one and all to the new episode of E-Confab 3, Episode 6. Icons of Inspirations, a step towards better future. Good evening to one and all. Here we are with another episode of the interactive session with our resource person, Mr. Anil Joseph, on the topic Striving for Excellence All the Time. But before that, let us have a look on the Bulletin of Times of MGM presented by Anushka Devtale of Class 7J. Please.
Hello everyone, welcome to Times of MGM. Myself Anushka Devtale and I am from Class 7G. Today's news headlines are as follows. First of all, international news headlines. Study indicates that over 30,000 COVID-19 cases and 700 deaths is likely to be due to Trump rallies. Akshay Patra, UK charity set up kitchen provide low-cost meal to children in London. Indian stands with France against the terrorism. PM Modi commemorates attack. Now some national news headlines. Over 50,000 new COVID-19 cases reported for fourth day in a row. Over 18,000 traffic-related deaths in Agra between January and September. Saffron farmer in Kashmir waiting for sprinkle irrigation that was promised by government 10 years ago. Some local news headlines. Total cases in Chhattisgarh is 187k plus. Manoj Mishra shoots for an Hindi film in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Chhattisgarh by poll farmer Ajit Jogi party pledged to support BJP. Now some new education policy. UGC AICTE will be merged. All university government open demeans, vocalizations, etc. will have some grading and other rules. Now some MGM news headlines. Chhattisgarh Foundation Day was celebrated by MGM Senior Secondary School through Mart Theodosius Memorial e-portal that was broadcasted on 1st of November got 1.3k views. Thank you and have a nice day. Thanks for your patience listening. Stay tuned to our channel for more interesting news headlines.
Thank you, Anushka. Now let us move on towards our today's guest, or rather resource person, Mrs. Anil Joseph. Sir is an alumni of MGM who is of 1986 batch. Post his schooling, he did his graduation in mechanical engineering from Pandit Ravi Shankar University and MBA in marketing from Devi Ahalya University in Indore. Sir started his formal employment with Customs Department and subsequently started his corporate career as a management trainee with Walchand Nagar Industries Limited. Later, Sir moved on to Castrol India Limited and did hierarchy of roles and was the motorcycle oils business head when he left Castrol in 2010. Sir was General Manager South with Philips India Limited and ended up his professional career as Vice President Sales and Marketing with an energy storage startup in Bangalore. Sir then started his entrepreneurial journey in 2014 as a distributor for Nestle, which was based in Chennai, and is now also a business consultant for selected companies. It's my immense pleasure to invite Mr. Anil Joseph as a successful entrepreneur to our today's talk show. I welcome you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, how was your experience is MGM? Will you share with us?
I must say, I must thank all the teachers who were patient enough to handle me for a person with huge curiosity and a person with unbridled energy and lots of bags. I, Today, I would take this occasion to understand and appreciate the kind of patience those teachers exhibited to drill some sense and education into me and being patient during those phases.
Request our respected principal, sir, Professor Dr. B.D. Taragan, to please join the interaction. Please, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anil Joseph. Good afternoon, Madam Kaini.
Good
So
afternoon, sir.
we are very glad to have an established alumni like Mr. Anil Joseph, who has rich experience, not only in the field of uh, engineering, sales, and he was on the job, but now he's a job provider. He is into his entrepreneurial journey and coupled with his consultancy job as a trainer. So we welcome you to the show. MGM fraternity is very proud to have such an established alumni like you, sir.
Thank you.
So I was going through your profile, and as you said in your initial talk, you are very much thankful to your teachers, and you have mentioned Madam Padma Rao, whom you fondly remember. Hope she is able to view this program at least now or sometime later. So, how do you value uh, the kind of input, the teaching and learning process which happens during your school days, which really help you to become a successful professional?
I think the kind of education MGM provided as an ecosystem, it was a very disciplined ecosystem. And you also had a situation where all types of students, I mean, all kind of diversity was encouraged in MGM. I don't think there was a super premium. If you were a topper, there was space for us to pursue. Like I had more interest in sports and games along with bit of study, but there was space for all of that. And I must say, if I look back, it was a benign culture that was available in MGM school ecosystem, wherein all type of students were taken care of. That as a value is a great value to have. I don't know whether today MGM understands that, but having seen the world and stayed in almost 10 odd cities, I think MGM is well placed in terms of academic excellence as well as nurturing diversity, as I mentioned earlier.
Great, sir. So, today you have a pleasant surprise for us. You wanted one of your classmates of school times to join the show. So I would request our broadcaster to kindly allow Sri S.N. Pandey to join this conversation. So meanwhile, Mr. Pandey comes. So Mr. Joseph, how did it? I mean, the journey in your career shows twists and turns. You are going from ladder to ladder. You were mainly focused into sales, and as an entrepreneur, you have chosen sales as your main focused area. You are a distributor, so everything went as per your plan, or it was a chance, or you utilized some opportunities? I am bringing this question in perspective of for the benefit of our students who are presently in 11 and 12, so that they can have a dream for them by learning from you, sir.
I the first job I actually had was with government, which was it was with customs department, and herein I would try to articulate something called power of visualization. Post my engineering, my first choice or preferred this thing would have been to get into sale and work for a couple of years and then pursue my CAT. That was my plan. I was distinctly uncomfortable to take funding for my postgraduate studies from my father. So that's what I said, power of visualize. I got into MBA. Luckily, I also got this job, which was 2 kilometers away from hostel. So that was an accident. But looking back, I don't think it was accident. I had this deep desire that I should be able to fund my MBA. And one of the reasons why I opted for IMS Indore was that there was a modular program where they allowed on-the-job training. Similarly, I spent maximum time with a company called Castrol India Limited. And it was one of the stated objective while I was in hostel when people were preparing for campus. My wall on the hostel room would be filled with Castrol posters. And it was stated that I want to work with Castrol. So again, the story of power of visualization is there. So my message to the students is that whatever is your dream, you make small little plans to achieve that. And like I said, I wanted to get into Castrol, but I was not sure at this point. I should thank liberalization of 1991, the reason why I got into Castrol easily. But what I did was that I opted for Indian Oil, cleared the Indian Oil exam, with the intent that after a few years in Indian Oil, I should move to Castrol. But it so happened that my final interview with Castrol and Indian Oil happened on the same day, and I had to take a call at a railway station in Daund in Maharashtra whether I should opt for Castrol or Indian Oil. And I opted for Castrol and got the job. So it's very important that you have that dream, pursue that dream with lots of perseverance and put in those hard grind. In all probability, most of the time you will get it.
So one thing is very clear: the power of visualization. That means you need to have your dream very clear, and you should be continuously pursuing to achieve your dream. So I would again request Mr. Broadcaster to kindly bring in our next guest, Sri S.N. Pandey. So Pandeyji, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Good
Ji.
afternoon to
Could
everybody.
you please introduce yourself, because you are a pleasant surprise for us, and I'm sure Mr. Anil Joseph has a strong reason to bring you here, and we would like to hear from Mr. Anil himself a little later. So can you please introduce yourself, sir?
I am Shraddhanand Pandey. I was studying in MGM from class 1 to class 12 along with Anil. He is the best friend of mine from since old days. We are together. He is in Chennai. I am in Bhilai or Rajnandgaon or somewhere in Chhattisgarh. But we are always in touch with each other. We are very good friends. So I remember Anil as a very, very strong man. He is a very strong man. Sometimes I lost hope, but he never lost hope in anything. He's a very good friend of mine. Or I have started my job in Chhattisgarh in public health engineering department. Earlier it was MP. I started as an assistant engineer, radio. Now I am executive engineer, the head of the district of in Ranjangaon. I am posted in Ranjangaon presently. I am looking after the Ranjangaon district about the water supply, sanitation, and all that.
Great, sir. So now we have a pleasant contrast also. We have an alumni who left a government job, joined the private sector, and presently is a successful entrepreneur. And you stayed on with the government job. So over to you, Mr. Anil. So you can take on what is the comparison would you like to bring in, which we had an initial discussion about.
The comparison story is part of my presentation. So should I proceed to my presentation?
Sure. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Today, it's a pleasant day for not only me, also for Shraddhanand, because it's a privilege that you gave us this opportunity to be part of MGO's MGM school ecosystem. Okay. The structure of the program, the way I see it, is that there is a theme as well as a story. The theme is culture of excellence, which is a concept which was evolved by one of the most renowned management thinker, Mr. Tom Peters. There are 4 ideas from that culture of excellence theme for students. There are 3 ideas for teachers, and for leadership there is 3 ideas. Parallelly, I will also share Pandey ka beta story. That's why Shraddhanand is here for. I will initially give a contest setting, then life story of our academics and life story of our professional journey. Now, most of us, हम लोग को सबको ये हुआ है कि क्लास का सबसे होनहार बच्चा, या in social media there is something called शर्मा जी का लड़का के दिख को पढ़ो. हमारे लिए पांडे जी का बेटा was the शर्मा जी का बेटा. Now I will give a contest for the larger group. पांडे जी का बेटा क्या क्या story है. In the middle picture is Shraddhanand in the arms of his father, Mr. S.N. Pandey, who was an alumni of BHU IT and who used to be responsible for the entire telecom network of Bhilai. On the right hand side is Shraddhanand Pandey, who used to be first ranker from class 1 to class 12th. And on the left side, this is me, who used to be more of a prankster rather than a good student. And apologies for the picture, because this is an old picture somebody shared in one of our social media platform from our primary school days. And I took it for setting this contest today. What I will do is that I have given a background about this, and like I said, Shraddhanand used to be the first in the class, so most of the teachers would say, why don't you, and he was a very diligent student and very obedient student. So this comparisons used to start with most of the other people, which is natural. आज भी होता होगा. तो हम, but then मेरा जो सोच था थोड़ा सा अलग था, तो मैं बैठ के सोचा सही बात है, श्रद्धानंद क्लास में नंबर 1 आता है, लेकिन अगर स्प्रिंट्स में या लॉन्ग जंप में श्रद्धानंद हमारे मुकाबले आ नहीं सकता. अगर कोई जनरल नॉलेज का डिस्कशन हो या कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट हो करंट अफेयर्स पे, श्रद्धानंद से हम आगे रह सकता है. And the other thing I noticed was that Shraddhanand used to fall sick quite often. तो एक दो बार तो मैंने प्रार्थना किया कि जब मंथली टेस्ट होगा तो let him fall sick. वैसा भी हुआ. Still he got first. Then I resigned to the fact that Shraddhanand से first rank की कोशिश नहीं करे. Let him be friends with him, okay, and learn from him. So that's the story. That's a contest. I will pause for the moment to the main topic, which is the culture of excellence. And this messaging is for students. सबसे पहला जो आइडिया है स्टूडेंट्स को मैं शेयर करूंगा कि लर्न बाय रोमिंग अराउंड, एंड इसमें मैं बात करूंगा लाइफ स्किल्स का, एंड स्पेशली ये जो मैसेज है लाइफ स्किल्स का मैसेज मैं बॉयज को दूंगा। एंड लाइफ स्किल्स का कहानी आप घर से चालू करोगे, बिकॉज घर में पेरेंट्स के ये आप पूछिएगा कि क्या आप कुकिंग में हेल्प चाहिए, क्या कुछ मदद करें, घर में साफ सफाई की जरूरत है, कुछ मदद करें, स्पेशली लॉकडाउन के टाइम में ये सब जरूरत है, अगर ग्रोसरी खरीदना है उसमें हेल्प करें, एंड स्पेशली कुकिंग में चूंकि देयर इज स्टव एंड नाइफ इन्वॉल्व, पेरेंट्स का सुपरविजन के साथ करें। अब मैंने क्यों कहा बॉयज के लिए, even in MGM or elsewhere, girls are doing academically extremely well. There is a very good possibility most of the girls in next generation would be professionally doing extremely well. And so it's important that boys are equipped with such life skills so that घर के कामकाज में लोग हाथ बटाएं. So the first, this is for all students but especially for boys. अगला जो मैसेज या आइडिया है, आपको एक्सीलेंस जल्दीबाजी में नहीं मिलता या फ्रेंजी में नहीं मिलता, आपको बहुत बड़ा सपना देखना पड़ेगा। यू हैव टू ड्रीम बिग, यू हैव टू मेक टाइम बाउंड प्लान्स, एंड उसके दौरान हो सकता है यू विल हैव फेलियर्स, बट यू शुड बी एबल टू रेज अप, परसिवर, शो पेशेंस, पुट इन दैट हार्ड ग्राइंड एंड go for the success. The third idea which I would like to share with students is experience एक technical term नहीं है या engineering term नहीं है. Experience is about people, it's about emotional connect. 3 suggestions. एक, please read books voraciously. Read books of great men, their autobiographies, biographies, learn about their instincts, learn about their thought process, learn from their mistakes they have committed. There are great insights in biographies and this. जैसे मैंने लड़कों को एक मैसेज बोला कि आप लोग लाइफ स्किल्स सीखिए, वैसे ही मैं गर्ल्स पे एक मैसेज दूंगा, बी पार्ट ऑफ ए टीम स्पोर्ट. But today everybody should be part of some sport because there is lots of computer games going on, but girls should definitely part of team sport. The reason is the joy of winning every day and losing. It's an invaluable lesson when you are part of a team sport. Okay, and also people dynamics, and most of the girls would be occupying leadership position in future. It's imperative that they should be part of the, as a suggestion, part of team sport. The third suggestion or idea is that be an apprentice. It could be a local store. So what's the advantage if you be an apprentice for some time in a local store? You will know how to handle customers. You will learn the art of selling, and this definitely would be helpful in your future career, because as per me, selling is a part of every job. Even though some of the techies might disagree, but even techies would have to sell their idea to their bosses. The number 2 idea is explore whether you can go and work in certain workshop. It could be a mobile repair workshop, it could be a 2-wheeler workshop, it could be a 4-wheeler workshop, or it could be a AC repairing workshop. The point is that it's important to discover the value of labor, the skills. If you read one of the books of Mr. Gurjar and Das, Indians per se don't value labor. We are those culture where we would like to sit and supervise. It's important that we value the labor and skill sets. So this apprentice job in a workshop would greatly help that. And the third is, if you can go and teach voluntarily, or even MGM can create an ecosystem that senior students can come and teach students in the lower classes, it will deepen their knowledge. And this suggestions is with the great conviction that I have observed some of the professionals who have started working early in their life. They have turned out to be very committed and excellent professionals. So for me, anecdotally, there is a success mantra here. That's what I'm sharing here. And the last idea is, most of the kids today are digitally savvy. And the fact is that pandemic has expedited the learning curve. In fact, it's a steep learning curve because of the pandemic. But one thing we should all understand is excellence is human. So please don't miss out the human part in the journey of digital world or digital ecosystem. I'll pause for a moment, go back to Pandeji ka beta story. Like I mentioned, both of us were together in MGM till 12th. Post 12th, we had a slightly different journey. Shraddhanand went to NIT Nagpur to do his civil engineering. Post that, he cleared the gate and went for his MTech from IIT Powai. In fact, the picture here is he's enjoying with his friends besides the famous Powai Lake. And then he had this dream to pursue in IAS, and in fact he cleared mains couple of times, probably got stuck at the interview stage. Regarding me, like I said, I did my engineering in mechanical from BIT Durg, moved to Indore to do my MBA. My first job was with customs department, but then that job I used primarily to fund my MBA education in Indore. Then I took up a job which was probably of lesser salary than customs job as management trainee, which was my campus job. Then I spent 16 odd years with a company of my dreams called Castrol India Limited, wherein when I left, I was handling MCO oils business. And then I moved to Philips India Limited as general manager for South. Post that, I took up a vice president sales and marketing job with a startup company which was on the energy storage division. By then, I had almost decided that I will be getting into business, and the startup job was a strategic move to understand in a tough startup ecosystem how should you operate. For last 6 years, I am operating as a distributor for Nestle, wherein I am servicing clients like Flipkart, Big Basket, Netmeds, Grofers, plus some of the normal trade. And I also do a bit of consulting to select clients in South India. So this is kind of our professional journey. Then I will move to the ideas of culture of excellence to teachers. In fact, I did a dipstick survey with some of my teacher friends, and including one of the teacher from MGM. And most of the teachers think themselves as staff members. Okay, but the fact is, we students look up to teachers as role models, and they are in the business of shaping people's life. Teachers, it's imperative that they have to think like leaders, and they make a huge impact on students. The second idea which I would like to share with the teachers is, it is natural that you will be engaged with the toppers of the class. But the fact is, there would be some curious ones who might be introverts, the silent ones, but they would have probing customer. I shall urge you to seek out for them. There would also be special ones, people with skills in craft, music, athletic ability. Please seek out from them, encourage them, motivate them, give your shoulder once in a while. And there is a set of people, most of the teachers might be worried about, they are the backbenchers. But please understand, these folks, if I look back at my career, these folks were the biggest risk takers. There is a very good chance that some of them would chart a very unique path. Could be business people, could make dramatic changes. In fact, I know of a person in my class who was a backbencher, but who went on to employ some of our teachers in his school. It's an interesting case study and story. So please look for those sparks in the backbenchers as well. The last message or the idea for teachers is that whether you have a bad day or a good day, you inspire your students. So please wear your sunshine attitude always. Now, again, I will come back to our story. This is our family story. Shraddhanand married a science student. Now you might wonder, why did I say science student? In fact, in one of our conversations about life, Shraddhanand mentioned that I would like to marry a person with a science background. So it sounded interesting to me. I asked him, why but science? Then Shraddhanand mentioned to me, no, with science student being an engineer, my ideas will match. So I had an amusing thought and comment, and I told him, your life is beyond science. Okay, with your life partner, it is more than science. But so be it. Shraddhanand finally found a science student. They have a brilliant kid, Sridhar, who is a brilliant kid. Shraddhanand is deeply religious, and he is also involved in Akshay Patra and ISKCON activity in Bhilai, Durg. Well, I married a MCA student, and I lived in 10 odd cities as a corporate nomad. Some of the things which is of interest to me is things which is valued for humanity. Okay. I'll again pause the Pandeji ka beta story, move forward for some of the ideas for academic leaders. Now, the idea for leaders is that please have a vision. Okay, and herein I would refer to something a friend of mine shared about the vision of director of NIT Surathkal, which is alma mater of Dr. Taragan, who stated in his Hyderabad meet that his intent is to have 15 IAS officers qualifying every year. So similarly, every academic institution, after once they reach a stature, it is important to do a SWOT analysis and figure out what is your sweet spot and take the institution to next level. It could be probably equipping students to qualify for the top 5 arts and humanities colleges, top 5 engineering or medical colleges, top 5 law schools, or like the director of IIT Surathkal said, I want to produce few IAS officers every year. The next idea for leadership is please invest in teachers to improve their happiness quotient. Please invest in their skill sets. It's so critical during this period. We have so many teachers who are brilliant in classroom engagement and teaching, who might be grappling with this sudden advent of digital teaching ecosystem. It's important to invest in those people, handhold them, and ensure that that transition from a classroom kind of teaching to a virtual teaching mode happens seamlessly. It's a huge investment so that they will produce better students, students of excellence in future. And the last message for the academic leadership is please invest in benign culture, a culture of listening, culture of caring, culture of smiling, culture of folks saying great etiquette saying sorry and thank you without any regret. Because if you invest in this kind of culture, your folks will go out in the world, whether be it government, whether it is corporate, and will represent your culture. It's a great, they are great ambassadors for your institution. And my wish for to the students is be equipped to be institutional builders. And I'm sharing three folks who made a huge difference to our country. The first one is Dr. Verghese Kurian. This gentleman provided solution for our nutrition problem by being the milkman of the country. He created a great brand competing with FMCG companies, and today uh, that is world that is doing a turnover of 50,000, the biggest FMCG company in the country. Apart from that, he could create institutions of excellence like IRMA, NDDB. The next institutional builder I would like to talk about is Mr. E. Sridharan, the foremost engineer of our times. He was architect in providing public transport solution for us through some engineering marvels like Konkan Railways, Delhi Metro, Cochin Metro. The last person whom I would like to refer is Mr. Nandan Nilekani. Here is a gentleman who was instrumental in creating software industry and making it world class, Indian software industry world class to offshore border. Okay, and he built this uh, company Infosys from scratch, made it world class. Similarly, he took up a project of Aadhaar card in government and from scratch, and created a solution and institution called Uday, which helps in direct benefit transfer. Very unique skill sets of a person who succeeded exceedingly well in private sector as well as in government. Not only that, though he failed, he fought an election. But the point is the attitude of trying and not being worried about failure. Now again, I will come back to our story of Panditji ka beta. Here is Shraddhanand in his office chambers, and my picture is of one of my training sessions with a client, which is a Cafe Group company in Chennai. The message to the students is, and probably to the teachers is, most of the students are unique. They have unique talents, skill sets, interests. Okay, for students is don't get intimidated by the comparison story if it happens. Find your own sweet spot. Invest in areas of your interest. Put in that hard grind and thrive for excellence. Probably 1% improvement, like it is mentioned in a book called Atomic Habits. 1% improvement per day will serve the purpose towards excellence. Like the madam said, there is no perfection. Perfection is relative. What was perfect yesterday, today might not be perfect. But we can always make that 1% improvement, which is excellence every day. For teachers, again, the message is every student is unique. Please honor their special skills, value them. This is my last slide. It's about life. And this message is for students. When you're in school, high school, or so you might think that, it's like Mount Everest, like 12th could be a Mount Everest for most of the people. Then once you go to college, you think, oh, once college is finished, you have reached summit. But the fact is, life is a marathon. It's a long journey. You might be just be beginning there. Be prepared for that long, hard grind and enjoy that journey. Have fun and God bless you. Thank you so much.
पांडे जी के बेटे अभी बहुत बड़े हो गए हैं. Yes, your story was really inspiring. पांडे जी के बेटे को प्लीज लाइए शो में.
Sir, I am again back.
Yeah. Sir, on a serious note, Mr. Anil, very well said, nice presentation, very relevant. Some of the salient points I'll just summarize. We should improve our reading habits. We should have some sort of apprenticeship training. We should develop our vocational skills. When you actually do things, you learn a lot. Teachers are change leaders. Of course, you referred about something related to peer teaching, the senior students teaching their juniors. Actually, let me gladly inform you that we are already doing that, and we have a separate portal where peer teaching is happening, and that is happening from class 1 itself. They are teaching their peers, so this is happening, so you can be proud about your school. And this idea basically came in one of our brainstorming sessions, um, with our students, and the students themselves, they said that they want to create a repository. Number two, we are also going one step ahead. We are already having a government funded project, that is Atal Tinkering Lab, and we are training not only our students but also the students who are underprivileged and the students of the schools in the periphery. So we are already doing that, and I would kindly request you to subscribe our channel. We have two channels, that is MGM School channel and Mar Theodosius e-portal channel. So, I mean, if you go through those programs, things speaks by itself, and many of the points which you have discussed in your wonderful presentation, we are already doing it. Just couple of days back, we celebrated the Chhattisgarh Foundation Day. It was not merely a program, but a learning experience for both the organizers and the viewers also. Also, I'm very glad to tell you that I'm announcing through this channel. Just now, I received a news from NSPCL that they want to felicitate our school because we organized an elocution competition for them. So we came beyond their expectations, and we conducted a wonderful inter-school elocution competition. And that happened. We had very less time for organizing the event. In spite of all constraints, we had 15 schools participated in this particular competition, and the judges were from three different states, and we had a wonderful event. All we got a lot of appreciation, and just now the public sector unit has said that they want to felicitate us
Congratulations to
for
the
this
team,
wonderful event.
Dr. Taragan.
So yeah,
Brilliant job.
yeah. So yes. So as you said, we are uh, tacitly or in an organized way, we are already on the job. The school is creating a history, and we will surely come up to the expectations of the society. As you know, it is in the name of our Bishop Saint Gregorios. So we have a commitment for that also. So we are providing education with a human face, with empathy, and we are coming up to the expectations of the society. So with that, I'll request Pandey ji. Pandey ji, could you please share your experience? आप अपना experience share कर सकते हैं. आप throughout government sector में
बिल्कुल
रहे
सर,
हैं, और
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर। मैं और अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूं तो सर कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है?
नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं सर, हम चाहेंगे, क्योंकि हम एक और हम इसका एक स्ट्रेंथ बताएंगे कि यहाँ पे हम लोग जो एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं, काफी पेरेंट्स हिंदी स्पीकिंग हैं, और मैं हम लोग जो है उनके जीवन में भी हम लोग बदलाव ला रहे हैं, और हमें खुशी है कि हम लोग इस तरह की सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं। तो आप बेशक हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं।
जी सर, थोड़ा सा कंफर्टेबल रहूंगा क्योंकि मैं लगातार हिंदी से इंटरेक्ट करता रहता हूँ। तो इंग्लिश तो है सर, लेकिन थोड़ा सा अपने आप को शायद एक्सप्रेस अच्छे से कर पाऊँ। अभी सर जो कुछ बच्चे जो अभी से कुछ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज में या गवर्नमेंट सर्विस में जाना चाहेंगे सर, उनके लिए एडवाइस है कि अभी से थोड़ा सा जागरूक हो जाए। जागरूक में क्लास 6 के बुक्स से एनसीईआरटी की जो बुक्स हैं और खासकर जो अपना ज्योग्राफी, हिस्ट्री, सिविक्स वगैरह जो हैं, उनको थोड़ा सा जाए। और मतलब इसमें एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस में आने के लिए यू हैव टू स्टार्ट वेरी अर्ली। यू हैव टू थिंक, मतलब आपका पूरा ध्यान रहना चाहिए कि मेरे को एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस में जाना है। कंपटीशन वेरी 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 टफ। तो आपको शुरू से मतलब पूरा चीज जो आपके समाज के प्रति क्या चल रहा है, कौन से कार्यक्रम चल रहे हैं, क्या प्रधानमंत्री बोल रहे हैं या कौन मुख्यमंत्री कर रहे हैं, सारे चीजों पर बहुत जागरूक रहना पड़ेगा। और उसके साथ में अपने पढ़ाई में भी एक्सीलेंस तो रहना ही चाहिए। लेकिन आपको एक-एक चीज को बहुत स्टार्ट 11th-12th मतलब मेरे ख्याल से जो बच्चे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस जाना चाह रहे हैं तो उनको तो 11th-12th में मतलब बहुत सीरियस हो जाना चाहिए कि हमको क्या लेना है, क्या करना है, कब करना है। अदरवाइज उनके लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी बाद में, क्योंकि बाद में कंपटीशन बाहर में इतना ज्यादा है, मतलब लैक्स आर सिटिंग देयर। तो हम लोग भी कहीं बहुत लेट शुरू किए थे और मेरे को लगता है कि हम लोग अच्छे होने के बावजूद भी रह गए कहीं ना कहीं से। तो मेरा ये एडवाइस है कि जो बच्चे अगर इसमें आना चाहते हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस में, तो उनको थोड़ा सा 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th इससे ज्यादा लेट नहीं करना चाहिए। तो आप बाद में अगर कुछ बनाएंगे अपना कि मेरे को बनना है, थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है। मैं नहीं बोलता हूँ कि 100% सभी के लिए मुश्किल होता है, लेकिन इन जनरल मुश्किल होता है। तो मेरा कहने का मतलब जैसे आर्ट साइड में अगर कोई जाना चाहता है, इंजीनियरिंग साइड में जाना चाहता है, लेकिन उसको फोकस करना पड़ेगा कि मुझे अल्टीमेटली कौन सा एग्जाम देना है, क्या करना है और मैं किस तरह से सेवा कर पाऊंगा। जैसे अनिल ने बताया, ये जो है आपके पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट के लिए, आपके फैमिली बैकग्राउंड के डेवलपमेंट के लिए बहुत अच्छी चीजें हैं। लेकिन जब आप चाहते हो कि आपके जो लाइफ का जो एम है कि मैं लाइफ के एम में कुछ लोगों को चेंज कर लूँ, अपने कंट्री के लिए कुछ अच्छा कर लूँ, अपना जो भी कुछ भी सुधारना है, मतलब समाज में एक हम लोग का समाज का लेवल ऊपर आ जाए, तो यू हैव टू गो फॉर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज। क्यों, चांसेस बहुत मिलते हैं अच्छे काम करने के लिए। तो वही एक छोटा सा, बहुत टाइम कम शायद बचा हुआ है, तो मैं यही एडवाइस करूंगा कि आप लोग को जो भी करना है अभी से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा। कि आप अगर कॉलेज में जा करके कॉलेज के आखिरी के सालों में अगर चाहेंगे कि मैं कुछ नया सोचूं, तो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस के लिए। देन यू हैव टू गो फॉर प्राइवेट सेक्टर, मैनेजमेंट जॉब्स एंड ऑल दैट। तो मेरा ये एडवाइस है। और डिटेल में कभी फिर मौका मिलेगा तो फिर एमजीएम एलुमनी के सामने आएगा। एमजीएम से तो बहुत प्यार है, आते जाते हम लोग देखते रहते हैं। माई फैमिली हैज बीन सेटल्ड इन भिलाई ओनली, तो हम लोग आते जाते रहते हैं। तो एमजीएम से बहुत प्यार है, इतने साल रहे हम लोग वहाँ एमजीएम में साथ में। और हम लोग का मतलब जो बोलते हैं फाउंडेशन ब्रिक्स जो है एमजीएम का ही है। तो सिविल इंजीनियरिंग की भाषा में फाउंडेशन ब्रिक आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग, वेरी डिसिप्लिन्ड है। तो इसका हम लोग को बहुत फायदा भी मिलता है। हम लोग हमेशा हर जगह समय से पहुंचते हैं। एक डिसिप्लिन का कल्चर है एमजीएम में, बहुत अच्छा था। इसके कारण हम लोग हर जगह मतलब मेंटेन करते थे कि टाइम से पहुंचेंगे। और वी आर हम लोग जो काम देते हैं, हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि अपने आप से उसको एक्सीलेंस के करीब करीब लेके जाए जितना क्षमता है। तो हम लोग यही बच्चों को चाहेंगे कि अगर कोई कुछ लोग जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस में आना चाहते हो या ऐसे गवर्नमेंट जॉब में आना चाहते हो, कुछ सोसाइटी में चेंज लाना चाहते हो, तो थोड़ा सा अर्ली स्टार्ट करना पड़ता है। ओके, थैंक यू फ्रॉम, इट इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड।
धन्यवाद सर। तो एक ड्रीम होना चाहिए जैसे कि आपने बताया, और अगर ड्रीम है तो खुद ब खुद सारा कुछ प्लान होता जाएगा। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद पांडे जी, आप आए हमारे शो में। अब मैं चाहूँगा कि एंकर स्थान ले, हम लोग ने काफ़ी टाइम ले लिया है, तो ओवर टू एंकर प्लीज।
Thank you, Anil sir, for your narration of the story of Pandey ji ka beta. The story was very beautiful and you narrated so well, sir. And Mr. Pandey, thank you for your suggestions also. And you said so nice about MGM school. Our school is always the best, isn't it, sir? Okay, now some children wanted to talk to you, ask some questions regarding Yeah, this topic, striving for excellence. So, shall I invite some of the children of MGM school to ask some questions to you, sir?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please go
Sir,
ahead.
you have spent many Sir, you have spent many years of your life with different companies. According to your experience, which field has the best scope? In contextual time, according to you, which stream would be good for us and why?
What, let me be very frank, what worked for us might not work for next generation students like you, because there is a huge technology disruption happening. So my sense is that this pandemic has expedited the digital im- impact on the society. So my thought is that digital skills as well as creative skills as well as people skills, people with these three who can integrate this would have the maximum opportunities in future. The other trend which might happen is that the era of formal employment of 30 years, 40 years, in all probability is history. There is a very good chance that most of you, by the time you pass out, would be freelancers selling your unique skill sets. You will be gig economy workers, and you should have an entrepreneurial attitude. So please explore opportunity of most of the people are digital natives, so I think digital element would be taken care of. Please invest in people skills and creative skills and marry with the digital things. You would be well equipped, well placed to take on the world.
Next question.
Good evening, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, beta.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask one question. You did mechanical engineering and after that you switched your stream. What made you change your stream and what scope you had seen in it?
Okay, let me be frank. I was prisoner of the ecosystem and thought process which was prevalent when I passed out in 1986. The two streams which was predominant thought amongst parents, students was engineering and MBBS. Probably engineering was easy, so I gravitated towards that. But if I look back, my real strength or my deep interest was in arts and humanities, probably psychology. So once I got into engineering, I thought, okay, management would be a right space to be in, because that also involved people arena, people skills, interacting with folks. That's precisely why I shifted from engineering, because I my guess is I would work more my seamlessly and comfortable with people rather than machines. So that's why I preferred management.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have more questions?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone present there. My special greets to
Good
Mr.
evening.
Anil Joseph, sir.
Good evening, beta.
Sir, my question is for you is, as a Vilayan and an ex-student of MGM, what substantial changes you can see in our school as well as in our city, Bhilai?
First, I will say what did it change, Afrin? There
Yes,
is
sir.
something very likable, lovable about Bhilai, a certain degree of naivety and sincerity, which brings in instant connect with all the Bhilaians. Okay, whether it is from MGM or elsewhere, MGM has a very special place. But some of the things which I have noticed and which I thought is significant is first, I find lots of girl students expressing themselves. I must compliment and congratulate the leadership and the teachers for encouraging that culture of diversity. It's brilliant. The other element which I must appreciate is you seems to have seamlessly transitioned to an era of uh, adopting technology changes. In fact, this is a brilliant example of that. I think as an alumni, I'm proud that the leadership and the teachers put together such programs, and like Dr. Taragan mentioned of other things also. I think this is all brilliant. We participate, leverage such uh, tools and initiatives taken by the school, and leverage maximum and excel in all this. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for such good comments and for the guiding our students. Sir, there is a viewer question for you, sir. Switching to private from government sector, the life won't be that easy as compared to the work life you had as a government employee. What beautiful scenes of private sector motivated you to take this step,
Ma'am, I think I miss your question
sir?
because my laptop charge is over.
Sir,
Can you please
sir,
repeat?
okay, sir, I'll repeat. Yeah, yeah, I'll repeat, sir. Now, are you audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Switching to private from government sector, the life won't be that easy as compared to the work life you had as a government employee. What beautiful scenes of private sector motivated you to take this step?
The fact is that I was not a very serious government employee. I didn't inculcate those work ethics of government. I worked there for only 18 months just to fund my MBA. So I was very clear on day one that I will leave as and when I finish MBA. So I didn't internalize that government work-life thing. But the reason why I wanted to go to private is very simple: meritocracy. Okay, you put in your hard grind, you will be rewarded. Okay, at times in government, it is not really your effort, talent, and skill sets which has a premium. Yeah, there are challenges in private sector, but then the chances of you excelling well if you do a good job and you bring in good talent is much higher in private sector.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, one of our teachers would ask you some questions, sir. Madam Beena Shamkuti.
Good evening, sir. My question is, how much experience one need to start one's own business? Hello. My question is, how much experience one need to start one's own business?
It depends. It's a function of power of idea and your ability to sell that idea to people who are willing to invest in your idea. Okay, there could be some of those folks who are just out of college but has a brilliant technical idea, is able to sell that idea to investors. He can start even without experience. But then most of us come from middle class background. It is important that, and there is quite good possibility most of us doesn't have a business background. You'd have to learn such things through experience. And if you are interested in entrepreneurship, it's important that you can't work in silos. You have to imbibe different aspects of business. So if I am in sales, I can't be just looking at sales. I should be looking at finance, very critical element, HR, operational excellence, because once you are a businessman, you don't have a choice of being in your comfort zone. So it's up to the individual. Sometimes it makes sense to understand the dynamics and secure your future and then start business. But then if somebody has a brilliant idea, like somebody has a Google kind of idea, and he is able to sell that effectively to investors, why not go ahead and do that?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Beena ma'am. Sir, now we will play a rapid fire round in which I'll be asking some interesting questions to you and you will be given 10 seconds for each question. Shall I ask you, sir?
Sure.
The definition of excellence in your way.
Improve every day and extract maximum out of your talent available.
A simple term to define Bhilai in terms of excellence and academics.
The number of folks who qualify for IIT and NIT is a good indicator about excellence.
Yes. Yes, sir, that's Bhilai, sir. Yeah. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say life?
Have fun and be happy.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your words of wisdom. Thank you. It was an excellent performance by you, sir, and you are so prompt in your answering. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time. It was a lively session. Thank you for Mr. Pandey also. He was a real surprise to us, and your story of Pandey ji ka beta, all those together made a beautiful interaction session, sir. Thank you for giving your valuable time, sir, and it was a lively session, sir, and you are a great inspiration for our MGM school.
Thank you for
Hope
the
our
opportunity.
students.
I thought this was a brilliant idea. I look forward to such brilliant initiatives. I'll be happy to be part of it, and I'm a proud alumni today. And thanks, Shraddhanand, for being such a sport and being with us in a short notice. And thank you, Dr. Taragan and Sujay ma'am, to patiently coordinate with me. Jitin, thank you for handholding somebody who was technologically challenged to do a seamless performance. Thank you so much. And children, God bless you all. Do well and have fun in life.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Hope.
just one word. Thank you, Mr. Anil Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Pandeyji, on behalf of MGM fraternity. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for finding time for us. I'm sure you would have taken a lot of time preparing this presentation for us. It was an excellent, fun and learn presentation, and I can very well understand the kind of effort you have put in. So thank you very much for helping us. Please keep in touch, and we would love to learn more from you. We'll have more sessions with you, sir. Thank you very much. So over
Thank you.
to Madam Shiny.
Thank you, Principal, sir. Hope our students and viewers are benefited by today's talk show. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. With this inspirational quote, we end up today's program. Hope you all had a nice time and enjoyed the interactive session. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode. Till then, goodbye. Stay home, stay safe, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.